everyone, and welcome to the channel. According to what you see on the screen there, 74% of you guys watching this video are not subscribed. So please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. Give us also a like. It won't hurt your thumb, I promise. Today I'm going to bring the comparison of the Pancor Jackhammer versus the Fabarm STF12. Nowadays, people are talking about the Pancor being a lot stronger. It really is not. Nothing has changed about it. What has changed is the Fabarm. There has been a modification on its attributes. Therefore, now it seems like they're either alike or one is more stronger than the other. Let's look at it together. Damage on the Pancor is 704. Damage on the Fabarm is 945. The Fabarm wins. It has more damage. Fire rate, Pancor 240 rounds per minute. And the Fabarm 134 rounds per minute. Now, you have to take into account the Fabarm has more damage, but the Pancor has more fire rate. You have 704 damage per each round or each bullet, but it's going to shoot it at 240 of those per minute. So let's do the math. I'm posting the math right there for the Pancor, and I'm looking at the math below for the Fabarm. See that? That's a difference, right? That is a big difference. So you have to take these things into account. I know I'm going mathematical here, but this is truly how you should be making comparisons. When you look at the attributes or the stats, you really should do some math if you're looking at what is more appropriate for me to buy or what is actually stronger and will help me in the long run. You have to do these type of math. Next thing is the dispersion. That is huge. Look at the Pancor, 14.81 dispersion. That is enormous. That is huge. The bullets will go everywhere, just like a real shotgun in real life. But the bullets are going everywhere. Now let's look at the Fabarm. We have 8.24. The Fabarm has less dispersion, therefore the bullets are going to go faster. That's what that means. That's the dispersion. If the dispersion is 0, the bullets go straight, just like a sniper. Most snipers are 0.7 or something very similar. Of course, they're trying to make this gun realistic like in real life, right? Wind comes into effect, therefore the bullet will never go 100% straight unless you're shooting point blank a few millimeters or centimeters away from the person. So that's huge. The Fabarm has way less dispersion, something for you to take into account as you're moving farther and farther back. So let's move into the distance and talk about that. Distance on the Pancor 14.4, distance on the Fabarm 9.6. The Pancor has more distance, therefore it's going to acquire better accuracy and better control of the weapon and dispersion as you're close combat. But as you start to go farther and farther, and don't worry, I will show you a video about that in a couple seconds, you're going to see that big difference because that distance does make a difference. But that dispersion is huge on that Pancor, so that's concerning. Ammunition or ammo, the Pancor has 10 out of 30, while the Fabarm has 12 out of 24. The Pancor has more overall bullets, but you have to reload after 10. Versus the Fabarm, you have to reload after 12. But those of you guys that are Fabarm users, you know that there's a big difference in that reload speed. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about the dispersion, because this is important, right? I'm going to shoot at close range. I want you to see the difference. I'm going to shoot at close range so you can see the dispersion and see that big difference in which I was talking about, that the bullets fly everywhere. Okay, that's not too bad, right? It's not terrible. But let's look at the Fabarm now. You see that difference? Look at the Pancor. They're a little bit scattered to the side. Not too bad still. They're kind of straight. But the Fabarm shoots very close. That is the difference in that dispersion that I was just talking about. It makes a big difference. It truly does. It's something that you really have to look at. And I talked about it before. I have the link down at the description if you want to look at the difference between the Fabarm, it's at an individual level and what equipment you should use, and for the Pancor as you should use. Now, let's look at a farther range, right? Because you're not always going to be that close to the enemy. Let's start with the Fabarm. Still not too bad, right? You can kind of see about 3 dots that are a little separated. Now let's look at the Pancor. Wow, that's crazy. So at this range, most of your shots are going to miss. So even though the Pancor shoots at a faster fire rate, not all those bullets are going to hit, as you can see there. In order for you to acquire the entire damage that was listed, all the bullets, all the shreds have to hit. Therefore, you're not applying everything there. That's a big difference, right? That's major difference. Now, next thing I want to talk about is, here's a little trick. If you use the zoom in, you remember how it looked before, right? It doesn't look too bad. It's still a little scattered, but it's not the best. Now let's compare it to separated. See that? So that zoom makes a big difference, or whatever you want to call it, right? Vision or whatever, you know, it makes a big difference. So you're gonna want to utilize this with the Pancor as you start shooting this way. Yes, it slows you down using this vision. You won't move as fast, but it's gonna improve your accuracy if you are a Pancor user, because as you can see, the bullets go slightly straighter. It's gonna give you better damage overall and better results. Now, Fabarm, without the vision, with the vision, it's better for sure, but not much of a difference. So at this point, I would say you don't have to use it with this gun. It's completely up to you if you do want to. Now, next thing let's talk about is reload speed, because that's a big difference. One shot, not too bad, right? Let's do one shot on this weapon. Fabarm, I would say it's about the same. Not much of a difference, right? But now let's look at if I empty the entire clip or magazine, because that's a big difference. It's about the same. No change with the Pancor. But what happens if we empty the entire clip of a Fabarm? Let's look at that big difference, because that, as you guys probably are all aware of already, is a big difference. That took forever. You will get killed as you're reloading, and if you're a Fabarm user, you know this, or you killed somebody with a Fabarm, it's easy to kill them when they're reloading. So again, look at the description. I will give you a list of equipment that you should be using in order to reload faster, because that's not good. Now I want you to see it side by side, just in case you didn't actually count the seconds. Look at it side by side. One shot, about the same. See that difference when we empty all the bullets? Of course, the Pancor wins. Now, go ahead and let's watch the weapons in action so you can enjoy them.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rockstar in this life, gonna live it up on the.
I have contact!
In this life, I'm crazy, I'm mad.
Target detected!
Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed.
I have contact!
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad, chip on my shoulder,
Hang my son! Please!
I'll be swinging hard till the hits coming all cash. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me, ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact, give me one shot and I'll never get
Tango in my sight!
I'm sick of being cautious, I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's
Tango in my sight! Tagged and tagged!
Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame.
I have contact!
We all live for fame, yeah. Stadium live, one shot, gonna live it up. Life, I'm crazy, I'm gonna live it up, cash in the bag, stadium
Tango in my sight! Tango in my sight! Target detected! Dodge and tail! I'm hit!